Hello there guys and girls, and welcome back to episode 6 here in Valhaven. So a bit of an impromptu video tonight. I wasn't expecting to be recording today, but I actually just recently finished the build on my brand new gaming PC, so I thought I'd give it a spin, jump into City Skylines and Valhaven and make a recording for you guys just to see how everything looks. So yeah, I'll put the new specs for my PC in the description below, so if you want to see that, check it out. Feel free to drop me some comments if you have any questions, want any advice, etc. This is the first time I've done a PC build, so I'm quite excited, to be perfectly honest with you. So yeah, let's crack on anyway. So yeah, as I say, a bit of an impromptu one tonight, guys. So I haven't actually prepared what I want to do here, but as I say, I wanted to make a quick video just to kind of dive in and test out the new specs. So I think what we're going to do is concentrate on Medeiros over here in the west, and I want to kind of build this town out and at least get the frame structure in for how Medeiros will sit going forward. I want to bring this road in to complete this new sort of connector. It's actually going to be more of an arterial now, I think, 4-lane road similar to what we've got over here, coming in through Medeiros and then eventually into a roundabout here that will split off to go into our fishing harbour that will sit over in this bay, and then down into what will eventually be a park. And the reason I want this to be a 4-lane road is because I've made a decision. I want to have a bit of a service interchange over here, coming off our highway. So I'm going to bring it off here, come across, maybe across onto this island here first, and then across into Medeiros to connect back into this road that's going to cut across where our park area will be. So it'll just be another sort of option for people to get in and out of the city without going over this roundabout. So just, I mean, the traffic here isn't too bad, let's be honest, but yeah, it's just going to kind of free that traffic up as we build out Medeiros, because we are getting busier. Cool, so let's dive in, guys. So just a very quick note, we haven't really done anything off screen, but what I do want to do before we kick on in Medeiros is quickly bring in another recycling center. So I said in the previous episode that I was going to have a look at this, and I wanted to bring one into our forestry area, so into Havelka timber, and I think this is going to sit quite nicely here with the fire station that we placed in last time out. So they've got a similar vibe. They've got this fence going around them, and we will detail this up with some nice pathways and some trees later, just to get rid of that industrial vibe. But yeah, I think that's gonna help the town service the garbage, particularly here in Havelka, because our other garbage servicing centres are over here in the south of the island. Cool. So now that we've done that, I want to set our initial frames for this area, and how this is going to look. So I'm going to continue using our rural roads just to kind of draw this out, but as I said, guys, I want this to be like a 4-lane road coming up here. So I'm just going to bring this out a little bit more off of this area, and then I want to grab our 2-lane one-way roads with wide sidewalks, and then obviously our curve road tool. And then I want to create a little roundabout. So I'm going to go 5x5. So we obviously do 5x5 by 5 by 5 again, 5 again, and then you guessed it, 5 and 5. So we want to then just anchor this roundabout in, again, so we don't lose the shape. And then I think everyone's going to be quite happy with that. So this will eventually become a roundabout that will go off into the harbour area. I then anticipate this road to come all the way through and then around this hill area here, and create that sort of additional coastal connection road back into the 4-lane road up here. And then this side, as I said, will come through as a 4-lane road, eventually hook into a little service interchange down here somewhere, but then also provide access to the park over in this area. Cool, so let's build out our frames for Medeiros. So I can already see a nice opportunity to connect this side of Medeiros back into this roundabout. So I just want to quickly do that. So using our road guidelines, yeah, it will come from this one. Just want to grab that road guideline there and then bring that down. So we're not really going to build too much in here. I might have a small little residential area over in this corner. In fact, I will. I think I just want to bring another road up there so we can have a few more residents in here. But then in here, I've got an idea of what I want to place, so we will get there eventually. And then I want to just draw the frame in for this road. So I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bring this straight down by 30, and then, as I say, I envisage this sort of almost connector road to come through and then round this hill eventually. So I want to quickly come into our terrain views and see where the hill starts to come down or go up. So I want to bring this road straight across. Yeah, I think that's going to look good. So it's going to come straight across there, like so. So I can actually bring this up slightly more. And then I want to grab our curve road tool again, using our road guidelines. And then I want to do 6x6. And then continue that straight road in. So you get the feeling, if you wanted to come off into the harbour eventually, you will come through and then down here, and if you wanted to, you could continue around the hill. We will straighten out some of these terrain heights further to allow us to do this, but you will eventually be able to drive all the way around this hill, and we'll have some stuff on top of here. Again, I've got some ideas of what I want to put atop this hill, but yeah, so you kind of get in the view of what we're looking for here. And then this is going to be a park, so I'm thinking this will be like a nature reserve, but we're obviously going to hook in a 4-lane road coming off of the highway. So what I want to do is just come out by 10 just to give us a bit of a straight road going onto the roundabout, but then I want to curve up and then round again, so just giving us some nice curves before then moving back into what will be a straight road. So eventually we will have actually no, I want it to actually come across this island. So apologies, as I say, this is an impromptu recording today, so I haven't actually prepared what we're doing, but you know, sometimes these are the best videos. So yeah, I want to come through there because eventually this road will come over this island just to create that sort of additional bridge vibe, and then across down into the highway. So now if we grab our curve road tool again and then just connect him in there, I think people are going to be quite happy with that. Cool. And then once we get to our park, I've got an idea of how I want to get off of this road into the park, but we will get to that another time. Cool, so let's expand Medeiros slightly in terms of people moving in. So I just want to create some residences over here, make sure everyone's got water, which they should have, and then we want to just expand the frames over in this side next. Cool, so I want to come back into our rural roads and our terrain tool again, and again I want to respect this terrain over here, so I really want to respect this hill. So I'm going to use our freeform tool and just create a little frame that is going to come around this hill. I'm actually going to delete this road and then continue this very slightly. I want to come off of our road guidelines for a second. There we go. Then come back onto the road guideline, grabbing our curve road tool again, and then bring that down to create a 5x5, and then a nice straight road back into this road here. Cool, so we're kind of respecting all of the terrain in this area, and then I do want to just hook this back in, so we're going to grab our freeform tool and just hook that back into a nice sensible area here. So eventually this will be again probably a 4-lane road because it's going to connect all the way around and be a bit of a like a smaller arterial coming into this area, but yeah, so eventually that will be another connection into Medeiros if you're coming from maybe Havelka in the north, but you don't want to come around this ring road potentially. Cool, so this gives us a nice frame here that we can work in. So I want to just expand this out. So I'm not adverse to having another connection in here, so I'm just going to bring this road down straight, and then I think this gives us a relatively nice area to work in. and I'm going to create a little frontage road down here, and we're going to build on all of this area. And then I'm just going to bring this road across and create a small cul-de-sac in there, and I think that's going to be quite nice. I'm going to be quite happy with this area. Cool. So we can start allowing some residents to come back in here, and what I want to do is eventually create a small path coming through this bit. So I'm actually just going to reduce this road very slightly. That is going to be perfect. And what that's going to allow us to do, if we grab our gravel path, we can now bring a path in to come through here. So eventually, once this is a 4-lane road, if you're on the sort of high street in this area of town, you can come up and walk through your suburb into your residential area up here. So just starting to think about that walkability and getting residents being able to walk around the city is a really important thing to do at even at this early stage. So yeah, so let's get that playing, and while people are moving in, I want to now come back to what will be our harbour. So what I want to do is flatten some of this terrain out around the harbour here, just to make sure we've got nice flat surfaces to work with. So you notice already I've already done some of this, so it's just making sure that the area is completely flat where we want to work. So I'm grabbing our level terrain tool, and I just want to grab the height that I want to go with, bring that up to a full strength brush. And we're actually going to go with a medium brush, just to give us plenty of scope to work with in here, and then I want to just flatten out the areas that I know I'm going to build on. Cool. We'll bring that out as well. Excellent. That should do nicely. Cool. And then now that I've got my flat area, I'm going to use my rural road just to draw out some nice frames of how I want my harbour to look. So I'm just going to bring this down here like so. Bring this up slightly more. And then I want this road to come across this far. And then we are going to come off of our grid and road length, because I want to create a bit more of an angle over here. Not too much. And then bring... yeah, I'm going to be quite happy with that. So this will be the frame for what will be our harbour. So now what we need to do is just dig out this section of the bay here, just to make sure there is a proper harbour. So the way I'm going to do it, and the way I always do it, is by using the slope terrain tool. If there is a better way to do it, I don't know, but if you know a better way of doing this, and you watch me do it and you absolutely cringe, please drop a comment down below to educate me on a better way, because look, I'm always looking to learn. Yeah, I don't know how to do everything perfectly, so it's always good to learn new things. But anyway, so the way I do it is I grab my slope terrain tool, and then I pick a level in which I want the area to sit under the water. So for here, I'm just going to pick the lowest level available, and then I'm just going to use my slope terrain tool to push all of my terrain up against that road frame that we built around this harbour area. Perfect. And then I just want to make sure that I'm allowing this opening to fill with water as well. Cool. So this is now going to flood. I'm sure you're all aware, if you played City Skylines, that as soon as you do anything near the water, it just absolutely destroys everything. So we're just going to let that flood quickly. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, cool guys, so the flooding has stopped. We've still got some minor bits over here, but that will clear out over time. But yeah, so we're now in a position where we can start to really work on our harbour look. So I'm going to delete these road frames, because we've got what we want to work with, and this last little bit of water here will just fall back into the river, which is very good. And what I want to do with the edges of our harbour is come into our landscaping tools again, and then select the bridges and piers content creator group here. So if you don't have the bridges and piers DLC pack, I would highly recommend getting it. I mean, the name says it all. You get bridges and piers options, but a really good asset set within this pack is the keys, so the additional keys that you get within the game. So we all know we get sort of the bog standard keys as part of the vanilla game. These have been kind of expanded over time as well, but within the Bridges and Piers pack you just get some additional options. So I'm going to use quite a standard one here. You've got all these options here that have like stairs going down to a lower level, lower levels that are wider, etc, etc. But I just want to use the simple seawall that is fenceless for the harbour. And there's a reason I want to use the fenceless option, which I will explain very shortly. But I just want to lay the frames out for our harbour area. So very similarly to what we did with our roads, I just want to draw out the frames, but this time using the keys. Cool. So that's going to look good over there, and then I just want to come in with a straight line along the back here, and then use the corners just to curve in like so. Excellent. So I think everyone's going to be quite happy with that. So we've now got this lovely frame of what is now the harbour. So Medeiros harbour is now set. So it's quite a nice size. We're going to be able to fit a couple of harbours in here to start our fishing industry. Probably start with at least one today, maybe fit in two. But yeah, so this is going to be a nice little asset for this area. Cool. So let's move into our fishing then. So if we come into our industry tab and then select our fishing industry, we've got a couple of options to begin with. So we get the main fishing harbour, so the bog standard version. So this is effectively, this will fish for all types of fish, which I'll explain in a moment. But over time we will unlock additional assets in this area, but we need to do the fishing first. So for instance, if we want to unlock the anchovy fishing harbour, we need to fish for 250,000 fish, and the same applies to salmon, and then you need 2 million fish for shellfish and tuna. So if you want to get boats out into your rivers, you kind of need to start with this initial fishing harbour first, and then slowly upgrade if you want to the specific fishing harbours for certain fish types. But that's kind of the main option that we start with. So you either have this option here, or there is an option for a fishing farm as well, but we're going to stick with this for now. So I want to place my initial fishing harbour here on this side of the harbour, and that's going to look quite nice. So we're probably going to get another one maybe across here, maybe along this side, but yeah, we'll kick on with this for now and get some boats sort of moving around. So let's get him hooked in very quickly. So the first thing I want to do is just upgrade this to our 4-lane road. So I'm going to continue using this smaller variant of the 4-lane road that we've used previously, and just get that hooked all the way down into, why can't I upgrade you? Doesn't like that. So let's just get that drawn in. There we go. Get that hooked into the roundabout. And while we're here, we might as well upgrade the main road coming through Medeiros. Cool, everyone's happy. And we might as well just delete these anchors because we don't need them anymore. Cool, so that's looking good. So now we've got this 4-lane road coming into what is now our fishing harbour. Forgive the tips that are coming up. I obviously haven't turned it off since I've upgraded to my new PC, so I will do that ahead of the next episode. So yeah, just bear with me for now while I've got these things popping up. I will delete them as and when they do. Anyway, so I just want to hook this up into the road. So I'm going to come out very slightly by 5 just to give us a bit of additional straight line, and then just curve back in to the road up here. Cool, so for now everyone's going to be quite happy with that. As I get this road coming through and around, I will hook this side in as well, so we've got a bit more of a circular motion for the cars to come in and out, so the trucks etc, dropping supplies off. But yeah, this looks good for now. So the reason I went for the fenceless seawall as well is because if you go with the fence version, you end up with a fence effectively cutting through this section of your harbour, which I personally don't like. So I tend to go with the fenceless version for this sort of build. But yeah, obviously each to their own. So go with whatever you wish. So he needs water. So I'm just going to bring this up, and then oh no, that didn't work. So let's start again with this. So I just want to bring this up to there and then just bring in some water. So it's very quick and dirty for now. We will tidy that up. And then for electricity, we're actually good for electricity. So I could run some power cables across to connect this up from Medeiros. But what I want to start doing is move into some greener energy. So we've got the wind turbines now. These don't output a lot of energy, but they do output enough for sort of smaller areas. And you'll notice at the bottom it gives you an output of 0 to 8 megawatts of energy. So this is dependent on the wind, obviously, in the area. So if we select this asset, we can see the wind across the city. So the darker shades are obviously higher winds, and the lighter shades, if we look at Havelka timber here, there's pretty much no wind, so we wouldn't get any energy output from this area. But if I look at the top of this hill here, we can see that we would get 8 megawatts from a single wind turbine. So what I'm envisaging is maybe 3, possibly 4 wind turbines sitting atop this hill, and it will just give it quite a nice vibe as people drive around this area. And then eventually, as we build out, looking across from like the highway, you're going to have the fish farms and the harbour, and these energy pylons sort of sitting over here, turbines. So I really like the look of this asset. I know some people don't, but yeah, I'm a big fan. So I think we're going to go with that for now. And then initially just connect our fishing harbour in quick and dirty, just to get that across, so everyone is hooked up. So we'll now see we've got this, I don't know what you'd call that, but like line inactive symbol there. So what that means is that we need to actually set our fishing line. So what we need to do is get our boats in and around this area, so doing the fishing. So you'll notice the colours that have appeared here. The colours represent a certain type of fish in the area. So the key is obviously there, but the purple colour is shellfish, the sort of amber colour is anchovies, the salmon pink colour is ironically salmon, and the blue colour is tuna. So depending on the area you're fishing in, you will obviously fish for that specific fish type. So at the moment we're using a generic fishing boat, so they will go out and be able to fish all types that are in this area. But as you move to, say, using a tuna specific harbour, you will only be successful if you're fishing in an area that is blue, for instance. So for now, I just want to draw a quick and easy line going into this whole area. I want it to just kind of go around this little island for now, just to give it a nice vibe. But yeah, because we're using the generic fishing, there will be no issues with our boats picking up fish from this area. Cool. So now what we're going to get is these nice boats coming out, and they will go fishing for fish, ironically. So you'll notice a little percentage here. So as the boats go through, they pick up the fish, so you want to make sure you're getting that to 100%. Again, because we're using generic fishing, the boats will be able to pick up all the fish in the area, but if you're using tuna or shellfish, it won't hit 100% if you're fishing in an area that doesn't have that specific fish. So just something to pay attention to if you are using the fishing assets. Cool. So now our boats will just come out, and again, it's just going to give quite a nice vibe. Looking out now into the rivers, we've got some activity going on out here. Cool. So I'm going to leave the harbour for now, and come back to Medeiros. So I just want to build out a little bit more in here. So we're going to get a few more homes coming in just around this area. I don't want to build too close to roundabouts. Same applies over here. So in this space, I actually want to bring in another cemetery. So we're going to bring that in down here. And again, you kind of get the feeling that this was like one of the original straight roads coming through Medeiros. and at the end of the straight road you would have had the old church, which has now been built into have like a brick wall around it to cover the graveyard, etc. So yeah, kind of fitting back in with the lore of the area, and yeah, I think that just gives quite a nice vibe. And then over here I kind of want to complete this little circle that we've got over here. So the first thing that I want to do is connect this rural road up, not connect, sorry, bring this up. So I want to create like a bit of a enclosed area in here, just to extend the vibe of this area and stop any sort of like blocks in roads. And then I just want to delete this for now. I can delete this one as well. And then I just want to complete this sort of a semicircle, if you will. So I'm going to bring this up and round, and then we're going to kill that off there. Cool. And then come back on our road guidelines, and I want to hit this road guideline here. So we've got just hitting too many road guidelines, so let's do it from this side. If I come up by 5, that should be enough. Hit that road guideline, so it's 8 by, it was almost perfect, but I think we're going to be quite happy with that. So now over in this area in Medeiros, we've got this nice little semicircle, so we're going to use that immediately. So I just want to quickly delete these pylons and get rid of all electricity sources to the area, but I do want to bring in a small park. So I want this to sit sort of central in this semicircle, and then with this park you can actually connect the pathways up to the roads. So we're going to do that just to create that walkability again. So yeah, once we get some more trees around this, it's going to look really good. But you kind of get the feeling this was like an old park that kind of sat atop the hill, so you can come here for your lunch, maybe if you work in one of the shops, and overlook the town. It's quite a nice vibe for the area. Cool. So let's reconnect the electricity so that we don't break our city. Cool, everyone's happy. And then I just want to finish off the town. So I want to kind of bring in a couple of cul-de-sacs over here just to give us that additional zoning space. Yeah, that's good. No, I don't like that actually. Come off our road guideline because it's breaking what we're trying to do. Good news. And I'm going to bring this one up. Yeah, that's going to be good. Cool. So now we can zone in again. Lovely. Everyone's going to be very happy with that. Zone in there. These guys are going to come in like so. Bring in these guys. Excellent. Cool. So we're going to get all that zoned in, bring up our residential capacity, and we will very soon be hitting our next milestone actually, so let's just allow that to come in. So while that is coming in, I just want to have a quick look at Medeiros. So we've got this space here. Now I don't really want to build in this today, but I'm thinking we're probably going to use this at some point, maybe as just a bit of green belt, but possibly, I don't know what we're going to build in here, but there's definitely space here to do something in this area here. So yeah, watch this space for whatever we do in here. Cool. So I just want to have a quick look at our info views. So electricity is good, we're in a good spot. Water's very good. Garbage is good. We added another one. Our schooling is fine, we don't have any issues there. Residents, the happiness is quite low at the moment, but we're in the early phases, that's always the case. Healthcare is not too bad, we've only got our single healthcare, so I think we're going to do some healthcare over here, so that's going to look good. But death care is fine because we've now got 2 cemeteries. Yeah, everything's looking fine. Traffic's actually fantastic, considering we're working in quite a small space, sorry. Traffic is actually really good. We've got a bit here, but that's to be expected as we improve our public transport and bring our trams through. I think that's going to really improve. Fire safety, I mean, we could probably do with a firehouse over here, but again, it's not too bad at the moment. Crime rate is really good, fantastic. So again, maybe we'll have some maybe off of here, a nice little fire and police servicing station. But yeah, so our info views are actually giving us a good vibe at the moment. I think everyone's quite happy in the city. But I do want to have a look at that medical demand. So I want to bring in another one of these medical clinics. So very similar to what we did over in God, I can't remember the name of the town, Havelka, my apologies. I want to bring in a medical clinic into this area. So I'm going to use this space near the roundabout, and I don't know if that's going to fit. Yes, it's going to fit perfectly. Lovely. Cool. So I want to place our medical clinic just in here. So again, if you're on the roundabout, it's quite a nice little look overlooking this, and it fits in really nicely with the vibe of the area. So yeah, I think we're going to be quite happy with that. Cool. So let's get a few more residents coming in. We want to keep this residential demand going. Make sure that we've got plenty of people moving into the city. Yeah, might as well fill that whole thing up. Lovely. Everyone's going to be very pleased with that. And just as we do that, we hit busy town. Cool. So what does this give us, guys? So it gives us city planning policies, so a few more policies to work with. We get our level 4 unique buildings and our leisure and tourism unique buildings. We get some bus tours, trolley bus, oil specialization, which will be really cool as we move further along. Tourism, which again, very cool for the sort of next phase of the town that we're going to start looking at. All these new policies, a load of new roads to work with, and then we get a load of new assets as well. So yeah, really cool upgrade this one. So there's definitely some stuff in here that we're going to start working with, like the bus station. We want to get a proper bus station into our town centre. So yeah, a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to start working with. But before we do any of that, we want to just finish this area off. So as we just said, I want to bring in some fire and police over into this area, and I'm thinking again of having a nice little frontage road network over here. So I think we just use this sort of structure that we've got in here and bring a nice little road down. This is probably a bit too much, but I kind of want to fill this area out and make it really sort of special to the units, to the assets, sorry, that we're going to be bringing in here. And then just have a look at what we've got. So I want to bring in another police station. So again, I think we just stick with the European pack. In fact, that is probably a bit too much space. Yeah. And I also want to just level this surface out a little bit, so it's not too jarring. And I think that's actually going to look quite good if we create this little frontage network that we're going for. We'll tidy this up, but yep, so let's bring this out again, and I think that's actually going to be enough for us. And then we're going to have this little frontage network in here. Cool. And then in this area we just want to bring in that police house. So yeah, nice little asset going to sit in there. Again, it's slightly lowered now off of this main road, which is quite a nice vibe. Again, once we decorate this up, you're not really going to see it from the main road, but because we don't really want these guys looking out and having that bad view, really. Cool. So, and then we want to just bring in some fire safety as well. So what asset do I want to use? I don't really want to use this one. Is this too... Yeah, I think we will go with the vanilla one. But I actually want to just turn this on onto the other side, just to give some separation. Let's see what this looks like actually before we decide. Yeah, I think I'm going to be quite happy with that. It doesn't look too out of place. It's not the best. It's obviously the most vanilla asset, but yeah, I think we're going to be quite happy. And once we decorate around this, it's going to look quite nice in the area. So yeah, I think everyone's going to be very pleased with that. So again, this reintegrate our power supply, make sure everyone's connected, because we don't want everyone losing power. Good news. So that is all good. Cool. So I just want to now think about the frame for our second harbour that's going to sit in here. So I want to bring in another fishing harbour. We're not actually going to use this one for now. I just want to get it plugged in so that we're ready to go when we do want to start using it. But yeah, I think that's going to be quite a nice vibe, and we're going to decorate up around this, have some rocks sort of on the sides here, which we'll do during a detailing time lapse. But yeah, I think that's going to look good for now. Cool. And I just want to now hook up this road into this road here. So again, I'm going to come out a little bit on either side just so it's not straight into a curve, and then I want to come out by, do I want this one to come into this road? I think I do, because I've got an idea of what I want to use over here, which will probably be in a later episode now. But let's bring that in. So I want to come down here, and then we need to hook this in. So I'm going to create a small curve coming out of there, come onto our road guidelines, grab that guideline, and then bring him in. And I think everyone's going to be quite happy with that. I might even put a traffic light on here if it starts getting busy, but I think that's okay for now. And then over here, I'm not going to hook this in yet because this will eventually become a bridge, so I want to work out how I'm going to lay that in. But yeah, this will eventually hook into this road, and then everyone will be happy. Cool. So I've just switched this one off for now because we're not actually using it. Once we start using it, we will turn it on, obviously, and then we will be good. Cool. So last couple of bits, because like I say guys, this is a very impromptu recording session, so I just wanted to quickly jump in and do a little bit, get this harbour built. But I want to kind of continue on the fishing theme and have a look at what other assets we have. So as part of the fishing industries, we get 2 additional assets that will create jobs and also generate some money for us. So we get the fish market, which generates 33 workplaces, which is obviously really good. And what this does is it takes in the fish from the harbours and it starts selling it to the residents. So people can come to the market, buy and sell fish, and yeah, everyone's quite happy with this one. We also get this fish factory, which very similarly, it takes in the fish, but this one actually produces goods using the fish, and then it sells those goods to shops in the commercial zones, it says, or externally through export. So yeah, another good asset, but this one actually generates 53 workplaces. So yeah, both really good assets, and I'm definitely going to be using both of them. But for now, I want to lay in at least the fish market just to get that sort of initial vibe coming in. I'm thinking I want this to sit along this sort of front edge of this harbour here. So I'm going to grab the 2-lane road with median trees. I think that's going to be quite nice. And then I want to grab, yeah, this should be nice. So running right along the harbour, and then we can actually just connect straight into this road here. So, and maybe even connect in here in a moment, but I think for now we're going to be quite happy with this. Cool. So then if we grab our fish market, now this does create noise pollution, so we want to make sure that the noise isn't reaching our residents, which it is slightly. I think we can probably live with that. I might even just get rid of this house. It's probably a bit too close to that road anyway. And then we're going to put trees along here anyway, which should block out some of that sound. But again, it's quite a nice little asset. So fish market, you get the feeling you'd come here, all these shops would be buzzing with activity, selling the fish that they've produced. Yeah, it's a really nice asset to have in the area, especially once we've done some decorating. It's going to look really cool. So it needs water, so again I'm going to bring our pipes along a little bit more and just bring this up now to service this whole area. Get rid of this temporary one that we moved in. Why is that not hooking in? Interesting. Okay, let's move this back. Cool. And will that reach the harbour? It will. Cool, everyone's happy. So that's looking good. And then I'm not going to move. I'm not going to actually bring in the what do we call it? I'm not going to bring in the fish factory yet, because we're probably not producing enough fish at this stage to service this and the fish factory. Once we get this hooked up and running, then we'll bring that in as well. But that's probably going to sit over here, just off of this road, because again, I think it's going to look quite nice, sort of as a frontage asset, as people come into the city from this motorway here. So yeah, that's going to look really cool. But anyway, we'll leave our harbour there for now, because I think we've made quite a good start. That's looking quite nice. Once we decorate this up a little bit, it's going to look even better. And once we get all the boats coming in, we'll eventually upgrade this to probably tuna. At least one of them is tuna. I really like the tuna asset. So yeah, plenty of stuff still to do over there. Cool. So before we head into a detailing time lapse, I just want to start laying some parks down, because I'm conscious we haven't actually done too many yet. So I want to bring in a dog park, because these are always appreciated in and around the cities. So I think this is probably going to be quite a nice area over here. So as you enter this area, you've got the nice dog park. People can come and walk their dogs. We're not going to have anything built on here, so yeah, I think that's going to be quite nice over there. Let's have a look at our park views and see where else we could do with some. We could do with something over here, so let's see what sort of space we've got available. We don't want to just dump parks in, we want it to be sort of logical, but I think this is probably quite a nice area. So yeah, I just want to just come out of those views. Just want to delete these trees out, or at least some of them, because otherwise they'll just be sitting in behind. And I think again, I'm probably going to appreciate another dog park over here, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think that fits in quite nicely with the land. Cool. So everyone's going to be very happy there. Got an electricity issue over in this area, and I think that is purely just consumption based. So for now, what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to up my budget very slightly. I don't really want... oh, water's very high. I don't really want to lay in any more electricity, so that should cover that problem for now. Yep, cool, everyone is very happy. Medeiros is looking good. We've got this park over here, nice dog park over here now, so everyone's looking cool over there. I think we could probably do a park over in Musa Gardens, and I'm actually thinking we want probably something maybe over here where we have the entrance to town. So again, I'm just going to cheat and use the forest brush, just delete some of these trees away. And then I want to bring in over on this side another one of these sort of small neighborhood parks, and then eventually we could do one for now, connect all of these paths into our network. Lovely stuff. Cool, so everyone's going to be quite happy with that. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot. So as I say, very impromptu video today. So we've now expanded Medeiros. We may even expand Medeiros even further out to this area, but I think for now Medeiros is looking quite nice. We've created our harbour, so the harbour's looking really good. Once we do a bit of detailing, it's going to look even better. And we've got our little market over here, which people are already starting to use. Don't know what this guy's doing, but yeah, people are starting to use that already. So that's going to start generating jobs and money for us, which is obviously fantastic. So yeah, very short video today, guys. Just wanted to get in and see what the vibe was and have a test out of the new PC. As I say, I will put the specs down below, so have a little check out and drop me a comment if you've got any questions or want to give me any feedback. But yeah, I'm going to jump into a very quick detailing time lapse and just do a little bit here and there, but it's not going to be anything too major. But give me 2 seconds, I will be back very, very quickly. Okay guys, welcome back. So yeah, very minimal detailing, but let's quickly run through some of the things that we did. So we just added a few rocks on the edge of these keys just to kind of accent that vibe. I quite like where the ground is kind of coming up towards the edge of this key anyway. But yeah, kind of kills off that straight edge a little bit. So we've got some nice rocks in the end here, and then we've just covered the whole area in trees, just so you haven't got this industrial view from the town, and it will block out some of that sound from this fish market. But yeah, and then kind of covered the fish market with a couple of rocks either side as well. Again, I think that looks really nice, just kind of a couple of nice little rock assets sitting in there. So yeah, that's looking really cool. And then same over this side, just light touch, a few little rocks, and just giving that additional support to the area. Other than that, we didn't really do too much. We encompassed the Medeiros town with our tree palette. So again, it's just kind of giving that additional snap to the area. Stops it looking so bland, especially when you look at it from above. Ignore the fog. But yeah, so that kind of helps. And then over here where we had that additional industrial vibe with the garbage collection, we've just created another small little pointless pathway that just kind of, it breaks up that monotony of the fencing, etc., the barbed wire fencing at least, and then create this little forestry fence coming along it as well. And then we've started to create a forestry fence. I will straighten this up, actually, that's going to really annoy me, coming along the main road here. Again, just giving that separation between town and forestry. And again, if you're looking at it from the road, it's just quite a nice vibe, right? You'd expect a fence there, something to break that up. Yeah, so that was it really, guys. So nothing other than that. So look, I think we're in a great place. Medeiros is now more or less there where we want it to be. We've now got our harbour over in the west, so Medeiros Harbour, which is looking really cool. So yeah, we're pushing on. This island is almost complete. The rivals are there, or thereabouts. So in the next episode, guys, which I'll try and put a bit more planning into, this was very impromptu again, I think what I want to do is really start focusing on this industrial piece. So I'm thinking we'll probably put some over here, maybe leave some over here, but yeah, we're going to really tidy this area up, and then we're probably going to get this connection in from this highway, because we'll already see the traffic is beginning to build up in this area. So we want to take the pressure off of this bit, and just give another sort of in and out option for our townsfolk. But yeah, we're going to leave it there for now. So thank you for tuning in. As I say, very sort of last minute video. I've got my new PC, so I just wanted to test things out. So I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was very sort of slapdash. But yeah, drop those comments down below. Continue to hit that like and subscribe button. It's great to see the community growing. I want to see it continue. But yeah, I will leave it there, guys. So as always, have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, night, wherever you're from, and thank you very, very much. I will catch you all on the next one.